So the other week I received some feedback on one of my videos that my videos feel a little bit scripted, not so in the moment, a little bit like pre-prepared, like I'm just reading it off some notes. To a degree, yeah, that's what my videos are. I have to put some preparation into what I'm gonna say, making sure that I have a point. However, I felt like this was valid feedback and something that I could use as an opportunity to grow as an educator and as a filmmaker. You know, a lot of this is about making videos, right? Making good content for people. I'm conscious that I'm taking a new direction with this channel and where I'm going, and I don't want it to get stale and stagnant. I want to keep it interesting and engaging for you, people watching this. I appreciate your attention so much. With any kind of feedback, you know, it's important to take that with a grain of salt. They say not to take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. So this feedback was very welcome and I'm very intrigued by it, and I see this as an opportunity to grow. So we have a really interesting topic to talk about today, which is this idea of feeling completely defeated in the studio. It comes from a personal experience. This happened to me yesterday. I have no idea where this video is going to go because I have not scripted it whatsoever, so wish me luck. So yesterday afternoon, I had one of those days where I left the studio feeling completely deflated or defeated from my music making session. I'm sure other people can relate to this, where you've kind of sat down and you're working away and everything you make just sounds rubbish. There's nothing you can do. You can't seem to break out of that creative block. You dance around from one piece of gear, trying your drum loops, trying a lead melody, trying some chord progressions, and everything just doesn't seem to click. We spoke in an earlier video about making excuses, right? In times like these, when we're not really in the flow, we can start to make excuses or compensate for things in other ways. Start watching some tutorials, we can enroll ourselves in another masterclass, we can purchase some more samples or download a plugin, because that's the thing that's going to solve our problem, right? Honestly, I know this feeling well. I reach these stages in the studio when I am severely out of practice. And to be honest, I am out of practice. I haven't had a session just for me in the studio for quite some time. I am still working on music. I've been developing some remixes. I also recently moved country. I had to shut down my studio and open it up in a completely new location, which was a huge challenge of its own. And it's taken a little while to get the engine running and to get the wheels in motion again. So now that I'm a little bit more situated and the studio is kind of up and running, I've been working on a couple of remixes. I'm like, yeah, all right, now's the time. I'm going to try my hand at some of my own music. I sculpted out the time. I don't check my socials. I switch off Wi-Fi. All distractions gone so I can focus on my craft. And then that's when the struggle starts, right? You start noodling on a synth. You start trying to write some chords, and everything you make just sounds like shit. I took breaks. I went and got a coffee, had a glass of water, came back, sat down, tried again. Sounds like shit. I tried every trick in the book to try and break out of this funk that I was in. And all of a sudden it hits 5 p.m. and I'm like, I gotta go home now. I put in 3 or 4 hours in here and made absolutely zero progress. But the important thing to realize here is that that wasn't zero progress. That was a huge amount of progress, because I know that on my journey, I'm gonna have these bad days. I'm gonna have these sessions in the studio where I just get totally defeated by my own craft. On our journey as music makers, we're gonna have these peaks and troughs. We're gonna have days in the studio where everything just gels and like we cannot play a wrong note. And then we're going to have days where nothing works whatsoever. But statistically speaking, when we have these bad days in the studio, our next day has to be better. For instance, if you threw a dart and you hit the bullseye, if you threw another dart, the statistics of you hitting that bullseye again are extremely slim. The same thing can be applied to our sessions in the studio. Like if we have an absolutely amazing session in the studio, the next time we go into the studio, it's probably not going to be as amazing as the last one. Like if we wrote this fucking banger of a track, the next track's probably not going to be as good. Knowing that these peaks and troughs exist is a huge comfort in regards to my mental health when it comes to my studio sessions. In the past, after a session like yesterday, when it came to 5 o'clock and I had like nothing to show for my session in the studio, it would have been very easy for me to feel completely defeated, totally deflated, and to have carried that home with me and the rest of the night and the rest of my week. Really easy to do that. But over time, I've learned to handle those sessions in the studio far better because I know it's just part of the process. Those days are going to happen, and I just got one of them out of the way. It does take incredible willpower to not be discouraged by this, and can lead to us not even making music in the first place, or going into hibernation for a while, or feeling anxious about stepping back into the studio. But just knowing that this is part of the process, that these days have to happen, should hopefully be enough encouragement for those of you who do struggle with this. And a great quote just to top off this whole topic, which I heard this morning, which really encouraged me to make this video: the act of creating something is better than creating nothing. I love the simplicity of this quote and how applicable it is to all areas of art. Just the act of doing something is better than doing nothing at all. It doesn't have to be the best creation that you've ever made. Just the fact that you're making it in the first place is all that matters. All right, so there we have it. My first unscripted video. I hope you enjoyed it. That was totally off the top of my head. Besides the quote, which I picked up this morning, it didn't feel too different to a video I would have made anyway and scripted it. Perhaps I just saved myself a little bit of time and a little bit of headache trying to get it perfect, which it doesn't need to be. I'm hoping that this new format will actually help me with my consistency of releasing content, getting out a video every week, and allowing me the space to still create and make music and share that too. I have not forgotten about that aspect of things. Anyway, we're going to leave it there today. If you did like this video, then please remember to subscribe. It really does help. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up also. Until next time, keep creating. Bye for now.